Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Lance and Lauren here, bringing you, what is this, episode 4 of our show, Elevated. So we're so happy for you guys to be joining us. And today, as we're in January, last week we talked about resolutions and the fact that we pretty much believe that resolutions are trash, as Lauren said. But today, though, we're going to be talking with you guys specifically about unrealistic goals and setting goals that you've not really built up willpower or discipline to.
Right.
And a little bit of some of our woes that we've completely messed up by setting severely overzealous goals that cause us to crash on our face.
Yes.
So, without further ado, let us know if you guys have any questions and things like that. But we're going to kind of chat with you guys because we see more often than not that people set goals this time of year and they are so baffled as to why they don't reach them.
Yeah.
And the fact is that they blame willpower, they blame discipline, they blame that their fitness isn't right, that they don't have the right diet, the right workout, the right this, the right that.
Yeah.
And we actually believe that there are so many, I would say, wrong ways to set goals. Yeah. And we're living proof of that. We've set so many goals the wrong way. So we were kind of chatting last night about some of the stupidest goals that we've set. And Lauren, if you want to share just a couple,
mine.
yeah, I'll share a couple of mine as well. But we'll kind of let you guys know what we're talking about.
Okay, so one of my favorite fails that I've ever had as far as goal setting was when I was carrying a spare tire around my midsection. This is my early 20s. Actually, it might have been a little before then because I feel like I was still living at home trying to
I feel like that was earlier.
Yeah, definitely. So scratch that. I must have been in my teens because Lance and I got married when we were like 12. But anyway, I made a goal and a commitment to myself at the beginning of the year that I thought I could get abs, first of all, by doing sit-ups to better abs. Like I could just do a billion sit-ups and all of a sudden you wake up one day and you've got like a 16-pack. No, that doesn't work. But I thought to myself, I think if I can just do 150 sit-ups a day, I can get abs within a month to 90 days. That was my thinking, my mentality. And so I set out that goal and I failed it within 40
Now, prior to
hours.
this, how many sit-ups had you done each day?
Oh, none.
So why 150?
Because that was just the magic number. I wanted to stretch myself. I wanted to push myself. I wanted to commit to something that I thought I'll be a hero in my own eyes if I can do that. I mean, it really was my thinking. And so, again, I failed that within 48 hours. I don't even think I made it to 150 the first day. If I did, I probably was so sore, from not doing anything. Right. But I failed very fast. And then the second one that was my ultimate fail is that there was a season several years ago where running was like the thing to do, and everybody was doing marathons, and everybody was doing this 5K and that turkey trot, and all these different. And this was like before we even had our studio, I believe, because I remember thinking I was going to run the neighborhood. But I was under the impression, again, y'all, I'll have another story for you here that's short, but that the only way I was going to get fit was if I ran. And y'all, Jesus didn't build me to run. I have really short legs. I can run super fast for a very short amount of time if somebody is chasing me, but that endurance runs out in about 60 seconds. And so I failed that within a couple weeks because I just was like, I hated running, first of all. So why even thought that was going to be something that I could stick with is beyond me. And secondly, it just was awful. So it's so funny because so many times we just think that we have to do these certain things and we put these unrealistic goals or expectations out there when it actually doesn't even fit where we're at in life. And that's kind of what I've been guilty of.
Yeah, I think that, and the thing of it is, guys, how many of you guys, let us know. I mean, how many of you guys think that those goals that she set sounded ridiculous? It's okay to say they do.
Yeah, totally.
We've set a million goals that were ridiculous. I've done that a million times myself. But the fact is that how many of you guys have set similar goals? Not identical, but similar goals. Ones that you look back and go, what the flip was I thinking? Why in the world did I think I was going to be able to make $1 million in 1 year when I had never even made $100,000 in a year? These are the sort of things that people tend to do each year, especially with fitness and especially with business. We see this so often. And the fact is that it's so often people are setting goals based on raw emotional energy. There's no logic. There's no plan. There's no actions. There's no modeling. There's really no execution of anything that was planned out from beginning to end. What this is ready, fire, aim.
Right.
And this is what happens. So one thing that we like to do is to remind people that before you set goals, Ask yourself if you're setting some sort of goal that's realistic. How much willpower is it going to require for you to do said thing? And have you had any experience doing said thing before you're trying to do it? So, for example, Lauren had never even done 10 sit-ups a day consecutively, and yet she was aiming to do 150 a day consecutively. It doesn't really make sense. Now, that's an extreme version, and it's fun to laugh at because those are things that we do in our teens. Whereas as adults, we don't do things that are as obviously stupid. We do things that are a little bit more covertly stupid. And this is why people do the same things over and over and go, Lance, I set goals every year and I drop 20 pounds, I gain it back. I drop this and it comes back. I just don't understand what's going on. And the fact is that so often people set goals based on these emotional woes. I'm in pain and I need out of this immediately.
Like instantaneously.
And there's not this concept of, man, I don't like how life has been, and I really need to do research or figure out what in life that I desire. So one thing that I would say is before even setting a goal is ask yourself, what is it that you want? So Lauren, for herself, she starts doing these sit-ups at the time because she wants abs or she wants a six-pack or because she wants to be thinner. But the fact is that all she really connected with was, I want to feel this emotion. And then she just started going. She just started making decisions based on that. Whereas what we encourage people to do is to use emotional intelligence and use logical planning steps so that you're setting goals based on, first of all, where you're at, second of all, where you want to be, and third of all, planning on sustainability so that you can consecutively and consistently reach those goals and actually have the energy and the stamina to reach the goal after the goal that you've set. Those are the sort of things that we want to think about. So it's really fun to kind of poke, all this fun at like making stupid goals. And my Lord, I've made so many goals that I didn't do research on, that I didn't even, honestly, here's one of the other things that I used to do. I used to set goals based on things that I thought I should want or desire, but I really didn't even have any emotional connection to it. So I did it because it was a should, but it never became a must for me. There was no emotional energy behind it.
What did we learn last week? We should not be, I said it again,
Shoulding.
But we shouldn't be shoulding on ourselves.
Yeah, try not to be shoulding all over yourself. So the fact is that when we're setting goals like this is not a diet problem or a workout problem. This isn't even a logistics problem or a discipline or willpower problem. This is really a problem of making an emotional decision and then trying to use logic to justify that decision and then wondering why our plan didn't go like we hoped it would. And the reality is the plan didn't go according to plan because there wasn't a plan. It was more an idea that was kind of just like an idea was birthed without even fully being blossomed, and then you took action. And the fact is that I can't imagine, many of you guys have kids, and imagine giving your kids, like, you're describing like how to mow the lawn, or you're giving them like something to do, and before they've even finished, like before you've described even what it should look like or how it's done, they jump on the riding mower and start mowing the lawn before you've even explained it. It would be insane to do this, and yet this is how we do our goals on a regular basis. Okay. We don't have any of the research. We don't know what it should look like. We set moving targets for ourselves. We have no emotional balance to push us in the goal, and yet here we are trucking along, aiming for this goal as if we've got everything lined out for us. And then, believe it or not, we are flabbergasted when we don't reach this goal. Like, man, I guess fitness isn't for me, or man, I guess, and then we make excuses. Well, so-and-so did well in business, but, I like to be able to lay my head down at night, so I'm not like them. So we start making these excuses as if the reason that we didn't reach our goal is because we're more ethical than somebody else or because we did something better. This is what we do, guys. I'm no better than anybody. I do this on a regular basis. Probably not now as much, but the point is that when you don't stop to think about what desired outcomes you have in life, not just temporarily to be out of the pain that you're in, but in life, choose what you want. Decide what it's going to take to get there. Determine if you're willing to pay the cost to get what you want, and then model after someone else who has been there or has been consistently consecutive. When you do that, I promise you, you're not going to set goals of doing 150 sit-ups a day when you've not even successfully done 10 a day.
Yeah, definitely. And to piggyback off that, just to kind of give a little example of kind of what that looks like, specific to fitness, because as most of y'all know, and if you don't know, well, now you're going to know, but we have an online life and fitness coaching program. And when clients come into our program, we always start them out at a place that they can work upward to, right? So what do I mean when I say that? Well, it's really not wise to go, hey, Lance, I'm starting your program and I'm going to work out 7 times a week and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z when you don't even work out 3 times a week now for 10 or 15 minutes. How in the world are you going to be able to execute 7 workouts at an hour a piece, like I see most people doing, especially this time of year? You might be able to execute that for a little bit of time, week, 2 weeks. Some of you might even make it 3 months, but at some point you're gonna bow out of that. So when clients come into our program, we start them out with, exercising 3 times a week. And if they've never exercised before, or if it's been a long time since they have been consistent, then the first 2 to 3 weeks, we start them out with like 15 to 20 minutes of exercise, and we have them start there and gradually build upon that.
Right.
Because we don't want them to get burnout, to get fatigue, or to fail immediately and then be like, oh my God, I'm just not cut out for this. Because that's what happens a lot of times.
The thing of it is that I think, and that's 100% it, that if you just set a goal because you want to reach something without thinking, then hey, good on you. Keep doing what you're doing. When our clients reach out to us, they're in a position that they are ready for a change. Some people are ready to have the next level in life. Some people are tired of the stagnant life that they were living. But these are individuals who they've weighed out the cost of what it's going to take to get them where they want to go. And they're willing to pay that cost. Yeah. Whether it's 6 months, 7 months, whatever it is, they're looking to make sure that this is the last time that they ever have to learn this process. And because of that, they begin thinking about the end in mind at the beginning. Yeah, and that's the key. That is the key. So what would be the summary of all of this? Like when we're talking about goals here, the real summary that we encourage people to do is to take baby steps. Yes. And I know that life and fitness coaches normally are not encouraging people to take baby steps. They're encouraging people to take big leaps and to set goals that are scary. And, we used to talk about the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal and all this. And guess what, guys? Those are awesome things, but let me remind you of some real, actual science. If you have not worked up the willpower, the exertion, the consistency of doing some of these other things as a foundation, it would be illogical and really impractical to begin setting goals to do something or to align yourself with somebody who's done something for 5 years or 10 years when you've not even done it for 5 minutes. So yes, I realize you're all high achievers watching this, which is amazing. But if I can encourage you to do one thing, it's going to be to choose only 2 to 3 small goals to focus on, number one. And number two, to make sure you take baby steps. We always make the joke about the movie What About Bob? Yeah, and in fact, I've done this on one of my blogs in the past, talking about baby steps to the elevator, baby steps to your first week of successful workouts, baby steps to your first month of tracking your nutrition, baby steps to all of these new habits. Because instead of telling you what to do, with our program in Master Your Body Confidence, what we want you to do is to actually internalize the process. So the difference is between clients that we used to have back in the day, or just clients in general, a personal trainer or a fitness coach or what have you lives a life very differently than that of their client. And a client, and this is where we kind of put this together over the last couple of years, clients constantly come to the expert asking them, what's next? What's my next step? What do I do? But they never really know how to lead themselves. And what we did is, over the last multiple years, we've worked on building a system. It's actually a university. And this NYBC University, Master Your Body Confidence University, instead of telling people what to do, which of course we guide them, we actually teach them to internalize as if they're their own fitness coaches. Yeah. So Lauren and I, we set goals based on the foundation that we've already had, and we build on those goals and build on those goals and so on and so forth. What we do is we teach our clients to come in and start at a very small foundation so that they can work up and build on that and build on that and build on that. If you never make it past the beginning because you're setting such big goals that you can't even build consistency, you're never going to get to where we are to live like your fitness coaches. Because my question is for you guys, instead of you reaching out to fitness coaches and asking questions and hoping that they can help you to get in shape or we can help you to get in shape, what would it feel like to you if you learned everything we did, but without going through like all the school? I'm not talking about like learning how to teach other people. I'm talking about learning how to keep yourself in shape.
Yep.
The same way that you would learn how to do your own taxes or what have you. Can you imagine the confidence that you might feel when you wake up every day and you know specifically how many calories you need, you know how to reverse diet to fix your metabolism, you know how to set goals, you know how to make sure you have margin in your life, and you know how to choose relationships, all because of these things? Can you imagine how great that would feel? That is what we do in our program. That's why we don't just tell people to just set some crazy, big, hairy, audacious goals, and actually making sure that we want to make sure that people build on a small goal, build from there, and they can succeed, and that reinforces their behavior and gives them the confidence to go to the next level.
Definitely, and I'll just kind of follow up on that. I talk about this a lot on my profile if you've seen it in my videos, and then of course all of our clients know, but I was not into fitness at all when we started this journey. In fact, Lance was kind of like on his own, running a business and all of that. It took me getting in shape myself to see that I wanted to help other people. And what I want to tell you is that the stuff that I do today, I could have never done out of the gate 10 years ago.
Right.
Never in a million years. I would have looked at you and said, yep, you're crazy, not doing that. And it's not like I do anything crazy. It's that my mentality at that time was not where it is now. And I had to start with those baby steps to build a foundation so that I could be where I'm at today at 35 years old in better shape than I was even in my 20s, right? But I had to start with those baby steps that made sense for my life and where I was. I worked a full-time job at the time that I started getting fit. I didn't have several hours to spend in the gym at night. I could only, commit to 3 days a week at first. I gave up Dr. Pepper because it was the love of my life. And now I can drink Dr. Pepper with moderation, and it's okay. Couldn't do it then. So there's all these different things that I had to do that were for me and tailored for me at that time and at the exact journey spot that I was in at that time to make where I'm at today work. So I want to say that as a fitness coach, so you don't look at us and go, oh yeah, but what you do is probably so unattainable and blah, blah, blah. No. I got here because I started with those baby steps that made sense for my life where I was at that time.
I think that that's the thing, and to kind of close this up, guys, I think that the most important thing to think of is, and hopefully this will really resonate with you, but so often, I guess the best way to think of it is this: the way that Lauren and I live our fitness lives right now is kind of the equivalent of learning calculus, okay? So we practice calculus on a regular basis, and calculus, if you've never done basic addition or subtraction, calculus seems like it's, Chinese arithmetic. But the reality is that if you've learned addition, subtraction, and then multiplication, division, then long division, and so on and so forth, all these things build to create a foundation upon a new foundation upon a new foundation. And if I can encourage you guys to do anything, so many of you guys, whether in business, your careers, your fitness journeys, etc., it's kind of the equivalent of going into first grade and then seeing a senior in high school who's doing calculus and going, oh, calculus is available, I'm doing that, but yet you're in first grade. So the reality is that many of you guys, and I know you don't like to think of this about yourselves because you're high achievers and you're successful in so much of what you do, but in your fitness journeys, even those of you who have a fitness background, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, imagine that you're a first, second, or third grader. You're trying to do calculus, which we're going to help you to do calculus. But if you've never done division, multiplication, you don't have any business trying to do calculus equations. And the reality is that many of you guys, using that same metaphor, you're trying to do calculus equations in your fitness journey. So what does that mean? What this means is that many of you guys are going, yeah, Lance, I cut out sugars. I cut out this. I'm doing low fat. I'm eating every 2 hours. I don't eat after 8 p.m. I work out 2 hours a day. I'm working out 6 hours and all this stuff.
Intermittent fasting, Lance.
Like and it's like I've dropped 35 pounds and now I have no clue what to do. And honestly, guys, I know that sounds crazy, but I hear this seriously about twice a month. Where people are dropping all this stuff, and the very next thing that I hear from this person is, I've burned out.
Yeah.
I've hit a plateau. My metabolism is shot. I have nowhere else to go.
And I'm going, I'm exhausted hearing you. You've got to be exhausted. Right. Like, honestly.
This is the deal, guys. If you want to be successful in your fitness, your business, your relationship, you must begin with the end in mind.
Absolutely.
And you also must realize that you don't have any business doing calculus when you've never done basic addition and subtraction.
Bingo.
Take your time, set baby step goals. If you've never worked out consistently 2 or 3 times a week, don't start doing 5 times a week right now. If you've never successfully stuck with your diet, don't try and make yourself go to something super rigid. You want to make sure that you start and meet yourself where you're at.
Yep.
Treat yourself with kid gloves. And I'm not talking about being so easy that you don't have goals that move the needle.
Yeah.
I'm just simply stating that for those of you who are high achievers like we are and our clients, you've got to start setting goals based on infinite goals as opposed to just hitting a mark for 90 days and blasting through the next thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Awesome.
And I think that will set you up for success in 2021 in a way that you've probably not been set up for success before.
Definitely.
And so in saying that, if this resonates with some of you, you know, you can comment below, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you know, if we're not already friends, friend us so that way we get your direct message, but direct message us. And we are happy to have a conversation and keep the conversation going with you about where you're at specifically and what exactly you need to move the needle on where you're headed this year. We'd love to be a part of that.
The fact is that I know in your fitness journey, you believe that the solutions have got to be based in diet or workout, but we're here to encourage you and to inform you that most of the time people don't reach their fitness goals, not because of some diet issue or because of a workout. It's because of mindset, because of goal setting, because of lacking emotional intelligence, because of bad habits based on a bad thermostat and mindset and all these issues. So when you start off by setting goals in a way that allows you to get good feedback, push forward without draining and exhausting yourself, and build on those habits with new habits, you're going to start seeing yourself reach a more successful and lifelong fitness journey. Not one that you lose 20 pounds and it comes right back, but one that you drop 10 and then 12 and then 2 and 3, and then people start saying, wow, what are you doing, John? Wow, what are you doing, Sarah? Why does this look so good? Because you're consistent. It's not that you're trying to hit every workout out of the park or that you're trying to create perfection every day. You're going for consistency.
And I would say, too, I'm sure all of you guys see, you know, we're constantly posting success stories and even just progress stories. I've got a cat fur on my nose I can see. But anyway, you can see that our clients, they're getting all these amazing results. Well, it's not because everything has been perfect. It's actually
far from it.
Outside of that. It's the fact that they've been consistent. It's their macros aren't 100% perfect every day. They might have missed out of however many workouts they do in a month, they might have missed one. They might have, only hit their good goal instead of their awesome goal. Like it might have gone that way. But then everyone goes, well, why are they getting results? Well, it's because they're staying consistent to the program. It's because of when they have a day that doesn't go exactly as they planned, because that happens, the next day, they're back on whatever they were at.
Yeah, they don't self-sabotage and ruin their week over a bad meal or over a missed workout. And that only happens from mindset and working on habits. If you're only focusing on crushing workouts and, and grinding it out and hustle mode and all this. God, guys, we're so burnt out on hearing all the hustle and grind crap. If you're pushing that crap, I don't care. I've seen so many. I would love to call people out that are like huge into the social media stuff. Hustle and grind, guys. Rise and grind.
Boss babe.
It's gross. It's gross, guys, because all you're doing is you're hustling for your worth 24/7.
100%.
It's disgusting. I'm not telling you guys that, getting yourself in grind mode on occasion. I'm not talking about that. It's okay to get yourself in hustle mode to make something happen. But if you're constantly in that mode, you do not have quality of life. You're achieving great things, but you have no fulfillment. And that's why, again, we went way off on topic here. But nevertheless, guys, so what I would say is as a bridge here, baby steps on your goals, number 1. Number 2, start with the end in mind. Number 3, make sure that when you're setting goals, you're not setting goals that are loftier than your current skill ability. Within the next month or two, Lauren and I are going to chat with you guys a little bit about the state of flow. which is why we're talking with you guys about having an equal balance of skill and challenge, because that is one of our big secrets of why our clients and us were able to stay fit for so long. It's because we get ourselves into a state of flow. And I don't mean some weird esoteric sort of thing. What I mean is the neuroscience aspect of balancing yourself out in a level of creativity to where you're getting things done because you have an equal level of skill and challenge, and that causes you to just keep moving. It's why some people are so good at their jobs, why people are so good in Olympics, whatever it is. We're going to show you guys how to get in that state, but it all starts on this stuff that we're talking about today with the foundation. So
the baby steps.
That's it. So thank you guys for joining us on this one on episode 4. Be sure to tell your friends to join us on the next ones. We'll have a lot of these coming to wherever you like to subscribe to your podcast as well. So be sure to subscribe to that and leave us a review and all of that stuff as well. So thank you guys. Be sure to check us on the next one. We're here every Wednesday inside of the Elevate Your Body Confidence group.
And that's it.
Awesome. Okay, guys.
See you guys
well,
next week.
enjoy the week, and we will see you guys on